Hello everybody, and today we have day 11, and our topic today is ancient Chinese civilization in the Iron Age civilization. So we have already seen the earlier ancient civilizations, in which we had the Shang dynasty and the Zhou dynasty, which had taken over the Shang dynasty. We had stopped till there, and that was beside the river of Huanghe. We had seen how the river was very funny river, which was very difficult to handle. How the whole organization had created definitely a dynasty. Civilization had already come, but what is the next level? What is the next level? So once we also revise, we started with the old Stone Age. Let's revise all that we have done till today. Where are we? We started with the old Stone Age, when man had come into being from evolution. There he was a food gatherer, he was in groups, he was using stones to kill animals, chop animals, and then you had the Neolithic age where stone implements were used, but we also had agriculture during the Neolithic age. We had domestication of animals, mankind took one step forward. Then we had river valleys civilizations, or the first ancient civilizations, and in the four great rivers the communities joined together. There came the sense of holding power over people and also organization. More efficiency was there, and we had these four great civilizations: Indus Valley, the Chinese civilization, the Mesopotamian, and the Egyptian civilizations, and the beliefs became more complex. Then we came to the final, why say final, in the ancient civilization, the final lap. We had the Greek and Roman, we had in India the Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, philosophies and religions, and we after Greek and Roman we also had Christianity. We have already gone deep into all these beliefs also. We also had a class where we understood how deep the ideas were. Man had come to flowering. Man understood that there is something, some power in him which seeks meaning, some power in him which can get knowledge, a curiosity which is unending, an energy which can't be stopped. We also saw the negative aspects of that. Power, wanting power. We have seen already all that. Power not just in terms of having physical power of people, but unfortunately the power of ideas, the fanaticism. So of religion, how religion wants to dominate man's mind also. So it is not just material what we see the whole history, it is also spiritual of how man. And we also saw the great flowering of man's reason, the coming of science in the Greek civilization, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates. So this is where we are now. In the last class we also saw how deep the philosophers were, how they had held truths. There was something that they had found all past ages. So obviously that remained in the later ages. Now we have two more civilizations. Today will be Chinese civilization. On Monday we'll do Iranian civilization, and there are two more which we'll omit. We'll just mention them. You can go and see through the Google. So that will actually complete. By Monday we will complete the Iron Age civilization. So today we have the ancient Chinese civilization. So I'll just quickly go through the political aspects. It is very simple actually. If you notice, all the political aspects are simple. All civilizations are clear cut and simple. There will be some organization, some king followed by the dynasty, some wisdom, which means some philosophers or religions which will become prominent. These are not accidents. This is part of human nature. So it is like a drama between good and bad and wisdom, as I said. There cannot be a civilization without wisdom for man. So we have Shang and Zhou dynasty, after that we saw earlier only. In 18th century, by 18th century, Zhou's dynasty was the center, and there were 12 kingdoms all around it. But by 7th century BC, Zhou ruler had become a puppet. Those around, those 12 minor kingdoms became more powerful, and they were fighting with each other. By 3rd BC, we had 3 kingdoms, not Zhou. We had Qin, Chu and Qi kingdoms, and out of the Qin again especially became the emperor. So by 3rd BC, Qin became the emperor, and this was a kind of golden age and creative age physically also. They built roads, there were weights and measures, a lot of trade was happening. They fine-tuned the Chinese script, and they also made a great wall of China at that time. It's a great wonder, like pyramids. And then By 2000, one of the greatest dynasties, the Han Dynasty, came into power. Han Dynasty. Even today, Chinese talk about the Han Dynasty with a lot of reverence. So they ruled till 600, till 400 AD. Sorry, till 200 AD. So 202, 200 BC to 200 AD, we have the Han Dynasty. 200 to next till 600 AD, there was anarchy. 400 years, there was no proper stability in the Chinese civilization. There were a lot of invaders coming. There was always war. Finally, 600 AD, we'll see in the medieval period, the Sui dynasty came into power. So we have come to the medieval period there also. So now we are in the medieval period of Chinese civilization. We are in the medieval period of Indian civilization. We are in the medieval period of Western civilization. In Tuesday we'll start the medieval. We also have the Iranian in the center. So now we have covered the whole world. The whole world has come into fruition. The whole world has come into cultures and civilizations. The whole world has established very deep belief systems. The whole world has got used to wisdom, used to living together. Yes, the whole world also has not learnt all the lessons. It is still progressing. Man is still progressing. It needed a medieval world. It needed a modern world, a modern age, and it's still today. If you come till there, you will say what exactly man needs to understand to secure a stable and happy and peaceful future. And there are two more concepts here, Confucius and Lao Tzu, which is Taoism. This is called Tao. Tao means the path. Who are the great philosophers in Chinese civilization? It was Confucius, and Confucius was in 500 BC and Lao was in 600 BC. Confucius is highly revered in China, and later even Buddhism interestingly came from India to China. Confucius was not just a philosopher, he was a political philosopher. Very deep philosopher, but he was mainly interested in how everybody should live together. Tao is called the way. Taoism is also similarly like that. So Confucius and 500 BC, he was a statesman philosopher, and he established a proper rule by law, proper morals, high morals. He believed in high morals. And his statements are very beautiful. Maybe in one of the classes we'll see his quotations also. So Confucius and Lao Tzu, and the political system was almost similar. So again we see that philosophy and religion also had to be there in the ancient civilization. So here we stop. We have ancient civilization, Chinese civilization also coupled. So we have got the whole India now, the whole world now, India, Europe, Western civilization, and in the middle we have also the Iranian civilization, which we'll do in Monday. Okay, I wish you all a wonderful weekend, Saturday and Sunday. If you have any other questions, I would also like you all to see these topics in a little detail. You can see further videos. What are the topics you can see videos on? How the early man was going through, how the New Stone Age. Just have a visual look. Then have a visual look of how Egyptian civilization was there, the Chinese civilization, the Indus Valley was there. There's also a movie on, I think Mohenjo-daro is a movie. You can have a look at the movie, not for the movie. You can see it's quite a good movie. But you can also, he recreated the whole Indus Valley quite well. Chinese civilization. There's a lot of visual beauty in the videos you can see in these civilizations. Then you can definitely go through so many beautiful videos by BBC History Channel on Greek civilization, Roman civilization. You can actually see the visuals. You can see the architecture. You can see the art. You can even have a look at the biographies of those great thinkers like Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, Euclid, Eratosthenes. And in India, you can have a look at the Buddhism and the Hinduism. You can go through the classical music. Those who are not aware of classical music, just go through the classical music. Try to understand, appreciate that. You will find how wonderful, how deep the Indian classical music is. So you have to get a flavor of the fact that this is not just history, some facts. This is a living history where people are creating ideas, people are creating livelihoods, people are creating meaning and stability. The world just doesn't run like that. It requires wisdom, it requires science, it requires thinking, and it also requires, unfortunately, to always be in check, not to give too much power to central authority. Definitely by now we have learnt that lesson of history. Too much power given to central authority, division of people always leads to wars. Wars come when you want to conquer. Wars come when one group of people want to conquer another. Wisdom requires that we don't do these two things. If we don't do these two things, the world will be at peace. We have learned that lesson now. We have already learned that lesson, but now you can see graphically how in Egypt it fell because of the making of the pyramids. In Indus also it must have been the same thing. It vanished. Then in Greek, and they were always having wars. Greek civilization also had wars between Athens and Sparta. Then Roman was a complete decay. The whole morals went away in the later part of the Roman civilization, during which time Jesus came. But unfortunately, Christianity, as you will see in the future, became fanatic. We should be very careful. We have understood that we cannot have fanatic people with fanatic beliefs try to impose their own will in terms of beliefs on other people. That has been obviously the reason why religions have fought with each other also. We will see that later. It is very tragic. People have killed, millions of people have been killed in the name of religion, in the name of nationality. But nobody killed his neighbor in the name of anything. So it is something which we all know. These are the deep lessons we learn from history. I hope you are enjoying this journey. We are in the middle. After Monday, from Tuesday, we will come into the medieval world. Then we will go to the modern world. I think we around 10 to 15 classes. By June 15th or June 10th, we are thinking we'll complete, or June 5th, I think we can complete by June 5th, yes. History, and then by June 15th, we can complete the rest, because the rest are basic concepts. Science, geography, okay, bit of maths also. Now, when you understand science, geography, maths and history, and a bit of arts, which I'll tell the last at the end, you get a feel totally as if the whole world has been swept clean and everything you kind of know. Actually, you know very little, but it's like that small thing which you know, by which you can know anything. That one thing you know, by which you can know everything. That is the meaning of knowing everything. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll meet on Monday.